Good afternoon. With me here I have Eric Chinje, who's going to talk to us a little about his company and his role. Good afternoon, Eric. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. I'm doing fine. My name is Eric Chinje. As you just said, I am with a company here called KRL, which deals in government and trade relations in Africa. We're based here in Washington. Prior to joining KRL, I was with the World Bank for a very long time and with the African Development Bank at one point. So, I've been involved with Africa for over the last 20 years and continue to be.
Are you based here right now?
Yes, I just moved in I spent a year, most of last year in London. I just moved back to the States where I've been for most of this time. So I'm based here, but I obviously do most of my work on the continent. So just came back, for example, from South Sudan and Liberia, where I was recently.
I understand you're originally from Cameroon, is that correct?
Yes, I am from Cameroon and can never cease to talk about that because even though the country is not it's not amongst the emerging countries of the continent, I think Cameroon has not only the potential but the desire, and I'm, in a few years I think we'll count Cameroon amongst the top performers on the continent. Totally confident about that because it's got so much potential, like most of Africa, I would say.
Are you also a consultant? In addition to working for the company, do you also do consulting?
Well, I do a lot. After all my years in development, and as I said, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, and so on. My role now, I see myself very much as an advisor. So I play an advisory role with governments, with private companies, and with public sector organizations. I know the continent very well. I've worked in Africa, in various institutions. So I'm in a good position, I think, now to proffer some advice on what works, what doesn't, what can be done, what should not be done in Africa for anybody who wants to succeed, both from government, the public sector, and the private sector.
Well, thank you so much for your time and input. Much appreciated.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope Africa Trade, this magazine, and does contribute to an enriched dialogue between Africa and its business partners, whether it's the United States, Europe, China, you name it. We need this magazine because there's something missing in that dialogue. What it is Africa brings to the market is not yet been made evident. We still see minerals, and then next to minerals we see poverty. That's not true. There's a very dynamic middle class emerging in Africa that's demanding the same things you find all over the world. And I think if your magazine can focus on what is missing in the storyline, you would have made a significant contribution not only to Africa but to global business as a whole.
Thank you so much for the insight.
Thank you.
Zachary Millard reporting from Africa Trade Magazine, Ronald Reagan Building, Washington, D.C., USA.